In a grey corner of Liverpool's shadow, where the River Mersey's breath carried salt and mystery, a boy named Tommy lived bound to a wheelchair, his legs silent, but his spirit a restless flame. The year was 1965, and Tommy, barely 12, was a lad of sharp eyes and a heart that hungered for more than the cobbled streets and sagging houses of his world could offer. His home, a cramped flat above a butcher's shop, smelled of sawdust and struggle, and his days were marked by the rattle of his chair's wheels and the distant laughter of boys who ran free. Yet within him burned a spark, fierce and unyielding, fed by the songs that crackled from a battered radio. Songs of love, of rebellion, of dreams that could lift a soul above the mire. Tommy's affliction came early, a fever when he was 3 years old that got worse until it stole the strength from his legs and left him tethered to the chair. His mother, Ellen, a seamstress with hands worn to bone, pushed his wheelchair through the streets, her love a shield against the pitying stares of strangers. His father, Tom, a dock worker whose back was bent by years of crates and cold, told him tales of ships and far-off lands, trying to kindle hope in a boy who could not walk. But Tommy's world was small. School, when he could manage the journey, and his house, where he made drawings with stubs of charcoal, his sketches of birds, and waves a silent cry for freedom. No, it was the radio that was his window to the world, and the music of a certain quartet, 4 lads from Liverpool, was his fire. Their voices, raw, defiant, joyous, spoke to Tommy's heart, promising that even a broken body might sing. Across the city, in a haze of fame and clamour, one of those 4 lads, the sharp-tongued dreamer, with round glasses and a guitar slung down, heard of Tommy. This man, 35 now, had clawed his way from the same hard streets, his own youth a gauntlet of loss and grit. His mother, taken by a drunk driver's car when he was 17, had left him with only her banjo and a wound that never closed. Raised by an aunt, strict but kind, in a house where love was stern and money scarce, he'd fought his way through bullies, doubt, and the ache of being different. Music had been his salvation, a way to howl his pain and his dreams to the world. Now, at the peak of his fame, with stadiums shaking to his songs, he read a letter from Ellen, slipped to him by a roadie after a show. It told of her boy, of his wheelchair, of his love for the band's music, of drawings that captured the soul of their sound. The man, whose name was a thunderclap across the globe, felt a tug, a call from the boy he'd once been. He'd known hardship, known the sting of being something less in others' eyes, and he saw in Tommy a kindred spirit, a fighter, caged but unbowed. So, on a damp spring day, when the sun fought the gloom, he slipped away from the whirlwind of tours and screaming fans. He wore no finery, just a flowered shirt and boots scuffed from years of wandering. With a driver and a single guitar, he came to the butcher's shop. He climbed the narrow stairs to the flat where Tommy waited, unsuspecting. Ellen, his mum, opened the door, her eyes wide, her hands trembling, as she ushered the man inside. Tommy sat by the window, his wheelchair angled toward the street, a sketchbook open on his lap. His face, pale from days indoors, lit up like a dawn when he saw the visitor.
"Blimey,"
he whispered, his voice a mix of awe and disbelief. The man grinned, a lopsided smile that carried the weight of 1,000 stages, and pulled a chair close. "Heard you're a fan, Tommy," he said, his voice rough with the city's accent, warm with its heart. "Thought I'd come see what's what." They talked, at first of small things, the band's latest record, the roar of crowds in America, the way a guitar string snaps when you push it too hard. Tommy, shy at first, found his voice, asking about songs, about the stories behind the lyrics that had kept him company in the dark. The man leaned forward, his glasses catching the light, and saw the hunger in the boy's eyes. He knew that look, had felt it himself in the mirror of his own youth. So he began to tell his tale, not as a star, but as a lad who'd walked through fire to find his song. "Wasn't no picnic growing up here," he said, his gaze drifting to the window, to the grey sprawl beyond. "Me mum, she was me best mate, taught me chords on her old banjo, but she was taken from me suddenly when I was just a bit older than you. There was an auto accident, and that was that. Left me with nothing but her music and a hole in me chest where my heart used to be." Tommy listened, his hands still on his sketchbook, his breath caught in the man's words. "Aunt Mimi raised me, good woman but strict, no money for much, just enough to scrape by. Kids at school, they'd call me names, Four Eyes, Weirdo, 'cause I saw things different, felt things deep. Fought 'em too, got me nose bloodied more'n once." He laughed, a short bark, and Tommy smiled, seeing the boy in the man. "But the music," he went on, "that was me way out. Found mates who played, formed a band in a church hall. We were rubbish at first, but we kept at it, playing dives, getting booed, learning to make the crowd feel what we felt. Wasn't easy, lost friends, lost me way sometimes. Fame came, but it's a beast, Tommy. Chews you up if you let it. Still, I kept writing, kept singing, 'cause it's how I make sense of the mess. It's how I fight." Tommy nodded, his fingers tracing the edge of his chair.
But you made it.
He said softly.
You're huge. I can't do that. I can't even walk."
His voice broke, a crack in the armor he wore so well. The man leaned closer, his eyes fierce, not with pity, but with a fire that matched Tommy's own. "Listen, lad," he said, his voice low, urgent. "Life's hard, no lie. Takes things from you. Legs, mothers, dreams. But it doesn't take your heart unless you let it. You got something in you, I see it. Those drawings." He tapped the sketchbook, where a charcoal sketch of a stage glowed with life. "That's your music, Tommy. That's your fight. You don't need legs to sing, to make the world feel what you feel. You got a pencil, a voice, a soul. That's more than most have, and it's enough." He picked up his guitar, strummed a soft chord, and began to hum, a melody that was half a prayer, half a battle cry. "Ever try writing a song?" he asked. Tommy shook his head, but his eyes were bright, caught in the possibility. The man handed him a scrap of paper from his pocket, a lyric scrawled in pencil. "Start here," he said. "Write what's in you. Good, bad, all of it. Draw it, sing it, don't hold it in. The world's waiting to hear you." For hours they sat, the man teaching Tommy a few chords on a guitar too big for his hands, laughing when the strings buzzed. Ellen brought tea, her eyes wet with gratitude, and his father Tom, home from the docks, stood in the doorway, his rough face soft with pride. The man told stories of Hamburg nights, of writing songs in hotel rooms, of the pain that fueled his best work. He spoke of love, of loss, of the fight to be more than the world expects. And Tommy listened, his wheelchair no longer a cage, but a throne, his heart swelling with a truth he'd always known but never named. He was enough. When the man rose to leave, a fog had set in, cloaking the street in mystery. He knelt by Tommy's chair, his hand on the boy's shoulder. "You're stronger than you know," he said. "Keep making art. Keep making music. It's your way to fly." Tommy nodded, his throat tight, and clutched the paper with the lyric, "A talisman against despair." The man tipped his cap to Ellen and Tom, then slipped into the night, his boots echoing on the stairs. Tommy changed after that day. He drew with a fury, his sketches filling books with ships, crowds, and stages where he stood tall. He wrote too, halting verses at first, then songs that carried his pain and his joy. His mother bought him a second-hand guitar, and though his fingers stumbled, he played, his voice thin but true. The flat became a workshop, charcoal and music mingling with the butcher's scent. At school he shared his work, and the boys who once mocked him listened, awed by the fire in his eyes. The man, back in his whirlwind of fame, never forgot the boy. He sent a postcard from New York, a simple note, "Keep singing, Tommy." And Tommy did. His art made him a bridge to a world that had once seemed out of reach. The streets of Liverpool remained hard, the River Mersey's wind still cold, but Tommy, bound to his chair, was free. He'd met a dreamer who'd walked his path, and in that meeting, he'd found his own. His drawings, his songs, were his defiance, his flight, his proof that a broken body could hold an unbreakable soul. In the tales of men who wrestled fate, who faced the wild with nothing but their will, Tommy was their kin. His wilderness was a wheelchair, his foe the doubt that claws at the young. But he stood in his own way and sang, because a man with a guitar had shown him how. Liverpool's grey heart beat on, but it bore a new legend now, a boy who heard his own wheels roll like thunder, whose art was a fire to light the dark. Write what's in you, good, bad, all of it. Draw it, sing it, don't hold it in. The world's waiting to hear you. If you like this video, you can help us do more by looking just below the video and liking and subscribing to this channel. Thank you.